One of the best things I like about dreaming big is that it is totally free. I mean, anybody anywhere can sit down and create a perfect plan on how to become wealthy in their heads. But that's as free as it gets. Whilst coming up with a business idea is as simple as identifying a problem and finding a solution to it, statistics have shown that many businesses fail within their first year and an even larger percentage don't go past 5 years. Does this mean that their ideas were not good enough or that they weren't really solving any problem? Why do most businesses fail? In this video, we are going to explore some of the most important things to focus on when starting a business. Pause this video for a minute to answer these questions. What do you think are the most important things to focus on when starting a business? Why do you think most businesses fail? I bet you thought about renting an office space, designing a recognizable logo, using social media, or even become a limited liability company. Whilst having a kick-ass logo and using social media to promote your brand is good, this cannot guarantee the success of your business. Sadly, most so-called experts focus on these rather superficial aspects of business, leaving out the most important things. Do you know that some of your favorite brands started off in a garage and have changed their logos multiple times? Pepsi, for example, has changed its logo 3 times. The likes of AT&T, Canon, Shell, IBM, McDonald's, and Firefox are not left out of the mix. So, how do you need to think for success? At its most basic form, to become a successful entrepreneur, you need to provide a solution to a problem. Create an offer to solve the problem and show your offer to those who need it. You need to focus on what is truly important. With this in mind, here are some pitfalls to watch out for. Don't overcomplicate your idea. Complexity does not in any way translate to functionality. It also doesn't make your product superior. As a matter of fact, some of the most innovative ideas I have seen were attempts to solve rather complex processes. As a younger person, I remember that beverages only came in tin containers. The downside of such packaging options was that you needed to purchase a full tin of beverage to enjoy a hot cup of cocoa. Someone came up with the idea to sell beverages in sachets containing single-use portions, and this immediately disrupted the market. Remember that simplicity is always the best. By trying to elaborate your idea and solve many problems at once, you may lose the essence of your solution, make things more complicated, more expensive to produce, and difficult to implement and market. It is important to start small and narrow your focus. You can never become everything to everybody. Choose your target market and find out the best way to deliver a simple, high-quality product or service. Focus on the market. As a runoff from keeping things simple, you need to focus on your market instead of your product. It doesn't matter if your product is a cure for cancer. If your market doesn't think so, then it won't sell. Time and time again, I have seen small businesses rely too much on their products to drive sales. Personally, I have made this mistake countless times on my entrepreneurial journey. The most spectacular was a drive-by barbecue I opened close to my former residence. I thought if top fast food chains like McDonald's were doing well, I could easily break into the market. My chef was one of the best around. Sadly, I was forced to hang my boots after 2 months of operations. I relied too much on my chef's abilities and believed that this could miraculously drive sales. For a start, my location was wrong and we did very little marketing. I also didn't put into consideration things like stable power supply and other operational costs. When starting a business, ask yourself if there is a market for your solution. Will people be willing to pay for your service? Why should they choose your product over those of brands that they are already loyal to? The bottom line is that ideas always appear flawless and amazing in our minds, but we must learn to probe even further if we want to succeed. Consider startup and operational costs. If wishes were horses, then even beggars will ride. Whilst it's the dream of every business person to hit it big within the first few months of operations, this is not always the case. Your business is likely to remain unprofitable for the first few years. From things like renting office spaces to renovating your office, buying equipment, initial inventory, and employee salary, costs can quickly exceed your budget. It is always best to overestimate costs when starting up because you may overspend. Your expenses will not always be in the green, so prepare for the worst. You may have to keep paying employees even though the business is yet to be profitable. As a rule of thumb, keep 3 to 6 months worth of estimated expenses in savings, just in case things don't go as planned. Choose the right support team. In most cases, you will be unable to run a business on your own. You may need someone to build a website, respond to customer inquiries, or handle marketing. Your business and the value it provides is only as good as the team behind it. If you have a crappy customer rep, word will soon spread that you don't treat your customers right. It is therefore essential that you establish the right support team. In conclusion, don't forget that your customers are the most important aspect of your business. They should be the center of your focus. What do they want? What drives their interest? While things like having an office space or creating a picture-perfect brand are important, don't forget to keep things simple.